Howdy on Warlock's Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, looks like I've got enough space in here. I'm pretty sure we'd search the bookstore. I was thinking that was a gun place, but no, I'm pretty sure we did that. So, I think... I don't know if it's been enough time to hit, like, bookstores and gun places. I'm gonna try, though. That's gonna be my plan for today. So, I managed to watch the animated Witcher movie on Netflix this weekend. It's pretty good. Um, it was, it was a pre-story. So, in the book series, I don't remember what the guy's name is, but in the book series, the guy, the main character in the movie, the animated movie, is the head of the Witchers. And in the animated movie, he's young. It tells like his story from when he was a child up through basically the destruction of what is the name of their castle? Kaer Morhen, something like that. Although I do have to say that what they did in that movie seems different to me than what the book says. Because I'm pretty sure in the book they indicated that they had used... Okay, so the Witchers are humans, and then they are mutated with magic and potions and stuff like that. And so in the book they talk about how they give the children the basically poisons, and then those that survive come out the other side mutated into Witchers, and very few survive the process, but those that do are Witchers, and it's called like the Trial of the Grasses for some reason, at least in the translation that I'm reading. And I say that because I have read that the character Dandelion isn't called Dandelion in the Polish version, but the American version, it's translated as Dandelion. It's something similar, though. But, so, the animated movie had a slight difference where they dumped the children into a swamp full of monsters, and then if whichever one survived the swamp got the transformation process. And so it seemed to me that was not what was indicated in the book. Like, I'm pretty sure in the book it indicated that they got the potions, and the potions are what killed them, not they dumped them into the middle of a bunch of monsters, and the monsters killed them, and then the ones that survived got turned into witchers. I'm fairly certain that is not how it happened in the book. I'm also fairly certain in the book that it said that Geralt was made with the potions after. I could be wrong on this, but I know they did talk about how they are. Um, so they have wizards, and the wizards were involved in making the poisons and whatnot, that the mutagens that turn you into a witcher. And so in the book, they don't have those wizards anymore. Those wizards are gone. And I'm fairly certain that I remember reading that Geralt said that um, he had been made with close to the last of the remaining potions, um, because he's one of the last witchers. And then Ciri, when Ciri comes along, they bring Triss Marigold out to try and they want her to recreate the trial of the grass for Ciri, so that she will mutate into a witcher, and she puts a stop to that. Because I don't know, because Ciri's special, I guess. I don't know. I understand why she didn't want it to happen, because it does change you. It actually makes way more sense for it to be Yennefer, um, because witchers are sterile, and Yennefer is also sterile, and she wants children. And so uh, Triss doesn't seem to care the way that Yennefer does, so it was a little weird for her to be flipping out about whether or not they ruined Ciri's hormones. Um, it's also interesting how often they talk about genetics in the book, given that nobody has access to equipment that could detect genes. Because, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the etymology of the word genetics, but it does seem odd for the Witcher to stand around talking about genes instead of like family lines or something. I'm not saying that people weren't aware of, you know, genetic traits. I'm just saying that it's weird that they mention genetics so much in the book when genetics is the study of genes. And I don't know when we discovered genes, but I know it takes some pretty sophisticated equipment to even detect them, because they're tiny, right? I mean, they're beyond microscopic. I think it's one of those things. They're, molecule-sized stuff. Isn't that what DNA is made out of? Is molecules? I mean, okay, everything's made out of molecules, but you know what I mean. Like, uh, there's specific molecules wrapped in a specific way, makes up DNA, RNA, all that stuff. Um, well, this was a awful bookstore hop. I don't think I found anything useful. Uh, I don't mean like. There we go. There's a new book. Crippling shot. Shots to the leg with arrows or bolts stop your opponent. Okay, well, I like having the knowledge of, even though I don't particularly use that as my weapon of choice, but um, what I meant was like every search was paper, which is not great. Okay, I'm gonna go, I think, up top of this thing over here. I should probably grab this here so I can save my game for when I inevitably fall to my death. But yeah, it was pretty good. It was the dude, um, I don't remember what his name was. I want to call him Villefort, but that is not his name, I don't think. I know it starts with a V, but I'm pretty sure Villefort's a bad guy from like Les Mis or something like that. Um, but it's something with a V. I'm pretty sure. I'm terrible with names in real life, fictional. I just can't remember them. I can remember what he did. I can remember what he said. I can't remember what his actual name is, though. Um, but yeah, it was basically. So one of the reoccurring things mentioned in the Witcher series is the fact that there are getting to be fewer and fewer monsters. And it's because something has happened to their worlds. I'm not sure what has happened to their world, but they mention it on multiple occasions about how the light from their sun is different than it used to be, and so the uh, magic peoples and the monsters are dying off as species because the changes have rendered that kind of stuff unable to survive. And I know one of the sorceresses in the book has been growing things in caves that will no longer grow in the light of the sun because of the changes. And so not only are... Oh, it does not let me come up here. Not only are the Witchers killing off the monsters, but the monsters themselves are unable to live outside the way they used to. And I saw your shadow coming. Listen, dude, there's a whole bunch of... Oh, dang it. Stupid vultures. That's totally the vultures. I blame them. 100% blame them. I hate the vultures. And anyway, so apparently some of the Witchers are resorting to cons to make their living, and not the main character. Um, and so, spoilers, big spoilers. There's a sorceress who hates witchers because her mother was killed. It wasn't even a con. Or no, it was a con. It was a con. Uh, he had um, gotten the nobleman or a priest to believe that. I just remember it was something involving a gem, and so the priest hired the Witcher, who had claimed the gem was something curse-ish. I honestly don't remember. I just talked about how I could remember what the dude did. I can't remember what the story was. Uh, Either way, and so the priest hired the Witcher, who had tricked the priest into believing something was happening, um, to kill the uh, sorceress involved. And the sorceress was innocent of what had been done, and the Witcher guy didn't care. And it wasn't the main character; it was some other Witcher. I don't think they ever revealed who the other Witcher was. And so she witnessed them kill her mother. And so now it's, years, decades later, and she has been on a campaign to hunt down witchers and turn the nobility against the witchers. And so that's what's going on in the story. And uh, so one of the Witcher-related wizards has been, and the Witcher, the head Witcher, has been trying to. I'm pretty sure I've got one of these back at home. Has been trying to breed new monsters. The wizard because he wants to see if he can, and the Witcher uh, headmaster guy wants it to happen because they're running out of things to kill. And so it ends with the huge battle and all that stuff. But the thing is that they already have Geralt having been created by the wizard, when in the book I'm pretty sure he says that he was created by some of the last of the potions, because they couldn't make them anymore because the wizards had been killed off or died off. Um, and so it is. Ooh, ooh. Thought I was going off the edge there. So it is a little different uh, than what I have been reading in the books, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I've discussed this many times, and it's one of the things that I see come up over and over again when it comes to something with a fan base, is that, and I will 100% admit I felt the same way at one point in my life when I was very young, um, and that is that there's only one way to do a character, and so it stops you from being able to explore. It's tricky. I will admit it's very tricky because even now, there's some stuff that's going on in some shows that I don't like because of what they've done to some characters. But I feel as long as your characters are following the same kind of ideal of the character, it's fine. But there are some changes that don't make any sense in some things. I'm currently watching Titans, and they have a very old Bruce Wayne, which I don't have a problem with an old Bruce Wayne. Uh, I like Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond had somebody just got killed off in the comics. Had a very old Bruce Wayne. This is where you need get off my pile. Wow, there's so many guys here. There's a lot of guys here trying to get to me. Where's my truck? I'm gonna run these guys over. And the age gap between Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne is just too great in this show. And I know it's such a small thing to have an issue with, but I do have an issue with how massive the age gap is between the two. Because, right, Bruce Wayne raises Dick Grayson as Robin. And so, given that he's like 25 in the show, I think he said, he must be a little older than that. Maybe not. I think they said he was about 25, 28, somewhere in there. So, given that he was like 12 when Bruce Wayne got him, that'd be 14 years. And the Batman is like in his 50s. And so and he's also not a very athletic looking Batman on top of that. And so it's a very odd choice to me. Anyways, I usually don't have a problem when they change stories if it makes sense. Although I'm really maybe not a fan of this. I'm not going to tell them, don't do it. Don't do it. You can't. There never can be. Like, okay, so their world's got an older Batman. That's fine, because the Titans TV show is different than the Titans comic book. So, it's got its own. There are so many zombies came out of that place, and they also aren't dying. Do they not die from getting run over anymore? I just thought I'd stop and get a little XP here, I guess. Don't beat up my truck. It's my truck. That guy's so far away, he's not even moving. But I know when I was a kid, I loved the Spider-Man cartoon, and I know I've talked about this before. And so when the Spider-Man movies came out, and they were so different from the Spider-Man cartoon, I had an issue. And then, I liked the movie, and I realized at that point that, you know what, it's okay that there's differences. It's okay that they're two different stories. And so I've never had an issue with that since. Okay, I think this is a Shotgun Messiah, and I am going to want to climb up. I saw you come out of that hole. Over here somewhere is my... Well, I might not have ever climbed up here, I guess. So, yeah. I liked it. I liked the Witcher animated movie. Nightmare of the Witchers, or whatever it was called. The book, though, oh man, let me tell you, I am struggling so hard to get through this book at the moment. I don't know what the thought process was behind what is happening on this show, or this book series now. So spoilers again. Ooh, I better fix this. I also didn't empty my inventory, which could cause a problem. So the series is starts off about The Witcher, and the first couple of books are mostly about The Witcher. What did I do? Okay, so I'm pretty sure I need up in there, right? This is where the stuff is. Ah! Gary, hateful thing. I think it's in there. Ooh, there's a greenie. I don't think I've fought a greenie so far. So first two books, short stories for the most part about The Witcher, and I thought they're pretty good. They're basically the same thing as the TV show. There were some additional storylines that haven't made it in the TV show so far. Get off me. Where are you at? Hateful thing. And I don't need that. And so and I don't need that. Make sure this is empty. That way it can respawn for later. Empty, 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 empty. All right. And ooh, there are. Oh no, you're not up here. I thought you were up here. So then after the first two books, it switches into a more comprehensive story mode, which I like a story. It's usually nope, not dead yet. Ooh, 3,600. I was wondering how much I get for killing one of those guys. One of these days, I'm going to get to be a better aim, and then, you know, things will be better for me. So, you know, in the short stories in the TV show, they've got this thing called the Law of Surprise, and the Law of Surprise states that well, it's called the Law of Surprise, but basically, if a man does something, it doesn't have to be a man. If a person does something to like save your life or something, and you need to repay them, they can request the Law of Surprise, which is when you get home, you will give them the thing you find that you didn't expect. And so, in the whole lead up to Ciri, The Witcher was involved with her parents and the Porcupine Knight, who literally turns into a porcupine, like a porcupine man. He saved the life of her grandfather and told the grandfather he wanted the law of surprise. And so when the grandfather got home, he found out his wife was pregnant. Hence, he has to give the dude his daughter. And so then when they're about to marry her off, he shows up to claim his right of surprise. Uh, the Witcher's involved in saving their lives, and um, the Witcher, when the guy says he owes him for his life, the Witcher jokingly says, "Well, just give me the law of surprise." And then of course everybody gasps because the Witcher doesn't know and the dude doesn't know, but the girl's pregnant, and so that's Ciri. And then later, the Witcher almost dies. Geralt almost dies, and he once again says uh, to give him the law of surprise. I believe that the reason why the law of surprise pops up with Geralt so much is because the law of surprise is sometimes what Witchers do to get children to bring back for the purpose of turning into Witchers. Because he does in the book come back to claim his child that will be turned into a Witcher. In the TV show, he doesn't want her, and but in the book, he specifically returns to collect her at one point, and so I think that's the thing they do, and but anyway, so it ends up with Ciri, right? And so Ciri's this prophesied ender of the worlds person, and then on top of that, there's this big war between Nilfgaard and all the other places, and then Geralt and this super powerful sorceress named Yennefer are kind of a couple. And they, I think their fates are intertwined. There's a story in there where Geralt, what happens is that Dandelion finds a bottle. He believes it's a genie that'll grant him 3 wishes. He opens the bottle. Geralt somehow wrests command of the bottle, and maybe it's because Geralt found the bottle. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how it went down that Geralt wound up being the one with the wishes, but they think Dandelion has the wishes, and the djinn that was inside the bottles tries to kill Dandelion, and Geralt tells it to leave, thinking that he's performing an exorcism, and it leaves because that was his first wish. And then later he uses his second wish to kill a man to get out of prison, and then Yennefer, trying to heal her body so that she can have children, tries to summon and control the djinn, believing Dandelion has one remaining wish, or more. I don't remember how many wishes they think that Dandelion has left, but Geralt uses the wish and does something that protects Yennefer from the djinn. But the author won't tell anyone what the wish was. And so, because the djinn can't harm its master or its previous masters, they believe it has something to do with intertwining Geralt and Yennefer in a way that makes the djinn see her as its master or former master. Which is why, because Yennefer is super angry about Geralt doing what he did. And so they always come back together because of this wish, apparently. I mean, not just that, but that that wish makes sure they come back together, I guess would be the better way to say that. And dang it, I know you're encumbered, but you could at least make that hop, buddy. I need to put some stairs down. Don't I have, or some stairs, some ladders? That way I can really. That way I can make these hops. Although that might make it so the zombies can make the hops as well. That one's already got one. Or I just need to knock out another row of stairs there, maybe, to prevent the bits from happening. Yeah, so anyways, I need to finish this story so we can finish this episode. So anyways, so Yennefer, Ciri, I talked about this already. Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt, they get separated, and we get to the point where the story just stops. Ciri winds up with some bandits, and there's a whole bunch with her just traveling around with these bandits. Yennefer does some stuff and then just kind of leaves the book for a while. Geralt just kind of is wandering around, not knowing what to do, and nothing is happening in these books. And I'm just like, oh, could we get back to this story? So finally, Yennefer reappears and she does some stuff. And then Ciri gets captured by a bounty hunter who kills the gang of thieves that she's been traveling with. And Geralt's still not doing anything. And then at the very end of the book, Ciri fights through some guys who are trying to capture her. She escapes and fights her way free. And the nope. She goes through a portal, and when she comes out the other side of the portal, she winds up in the Arthurian ancient, history legend Earth. And the dude is Galahad there. Galahad's there, and he wants her sword because he thinks she's the Lady of the Lake. And so it's very strange. It's very strange because what does this have to do with any of the rest of the story? And so then they're like, and now Ciri is the master of time and space. Ha ha ha. This is why she's so dangerous. I'm like, okay. And then that's the end of the book. And then the next book is the Lady of the Lake. And she's just like talking to this woman who's a dream reader. And they are trying to solve the forgotten history of the Witcher for some reason. And she wants to know what happened. I think she wants to know what happened to Ciri and all that. This is way after whatever happened to Ciri and them happened, the end of the world. And so they just have some paintings and some stories, and they're like, look at these paintings. Do you think these paintings are accurate? We don't actually have a true image of what Ciri looked like. All we got are these artistic renditions. So why don't you stare at this artistic rendition and then go and dream and tell me if the painting is anywhere near accurate. And this has been going on for about half a book now. And nothing they've done in the book has advanced the story. So I mean, we're approaching a book and a half where basically nothing has advanced in the story, and I am struggling to read it because it's so different from what happened in the previous books. And it's just nothing is happening for a book and a half, basically, that is makes any sense. I don't get it. There's only 8 books. I only have 8 books. I'm halfway through book 7 and I just keep reading. Like, it's so bizarre. Another little tiny horde. It's so bizarre because this Lady of the Lake character, I'm pretty sure Nimue is the name of the Lady in the Lake, if I remember my Etherean legend at all. Um, but like I said, I'm terrible with names, so she might not be the Lady of the Lake. But Nimue is there, and the Fisher King is there, and then this Dream Reader woman is there, and the Dream Reader woman was looking out the window at the Fisher King, going, "Ooh, he is sexy." And Nimue is like, "Nuh-uh, he's mine. You keep your hands off." And then, and then Nimue is like, "Yeah, he's sexy, but he's mine." And then he's just out there fishing, because And I'm like, what does this have to do with the story? These people are not part of the story. They've never been part of the story. You're not moving the story forward. You're asking about things that have already happened in the book. And if this dream reader woman can find from paintings of already happened events, what happened? Like, I don't need a retelling of the Battle of the Bridge when I already read the first-hand account of it from the point of view of Geralt and Dandelion as it was happening. I don't need this dream woman to give her version of it. Please, please just move on. Please move on. What happened to Ciri? What happened to Yennefer? Yennefer got yanked up into the sky in the little bit she was in and is being held captive. Maybe. I don't know what's going on. They stopped telling me what was going on in the story. Yeah. I It's a very abrupt and bizarre turn of events in the book series when they no longer tell you what's happening in the main story. Not the first time I've seen this happen. I don't think I've ever liked it. Uh, you got a story, you stick to your story. I don't need. Especially the fact that Nimue and the Fisher King and this dream reading woman are not part of the world that Witcher and Ciri come from, and that they talk about them because they're so far in the past where the Witcher's world doesn't even exist anymore to them, and they're trying to decipher from legend books that they have found what actually happens. I don't know. Anyways, with that, be around the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.